For more on the baby formula crisis facing families, I'm joined by Vandana Sheth. She's a registered nutritionist who has also spent time as a former spokesperson for the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Thanks for joining us. You know, I see these pictures and, you know, as a parent, you know how much milk we go through. A couple million servings is not going to be enough. I mean, how much really are we bringing to the U.S. or making in the U.S. to address the shortage?
Well, Phil, thank you for having me. And this is an extremely stressful time for so many families struggling to meet their children's needs. And yes, we are working towards it. The hearings today were the first step in understanding what caused the shortage, what we need to do to not have this situation happen again. It is going to still take some time before all the families that need formula are meeting their nutritional needs.
You know, one of the things that we talked about prior to the show is how is it possible that if one or two factories goes down, this all happens? It's hard for me to understand that.
You know, there are just 3 major manufacturers, and 98% of the formula that we use in this country comes from these 3 manufacturers. And when a facility is shut down, it has a profound effect. And this is a wake-up call in a sad way that we need to have better systems, more insight into what can we do to ensure that we have a steady supply of safe formula for infants and for families that are looking for this.
Right. So here's the good news. It sounds like that the problem's obviously been identified. A solution's been in place where we're going to import some of the stuff from Europe, but we're also going to get the factories in the U.S. started again. So is it safe to say that it's been resolved?
It's a step in the right direction. So the FDA has taken some good action in terms of enhancing the production of formula from other manufacturers and opening this facility soon again. Also, they've included where they're bringing in imported formula from Europe, and they've speeded up the process of that, and at the same time ensuring that it's safe. But it's still going to be a little while before we can see all the families that need these formulas, their needs are being met. So there's still work to be done.
You said that, you know, we want to make sure this obviously doesn't happen again and we're moving in the right direction. What do you think should be done to prevent this from happening in the future, not just for baby milk or baby formula milk, but for other items that we would consider a necessity?
So Phil, today what I was really pleased about was a registered dietitian nutritionist, Ginger Carney, represented the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics at the Senate hearings. And she represented dietitians who are on the front lines in these communities, serving families who are struggling to meet their children's needs. And so she had some really powerful statements. And one of the statements I want to leave with you is that the first 1,000 days of a child's life is critical in terms of long-term health outcomes. And so feeding infants the right formula at the right time is so important. As far as moving forward, what can we do to avoid this happening in the future? The first thing is to recognize how important this is. The second is looking into what can we do as far as our laws, our regulations, so that we can have greater oversight. Ensure safety in terms of assessing these manufacturing facilities, making sure these formulas are available. There's a backup plan if something goes wrong at one facility. And the third would be for our insurance companies, because some children are on specialized formulas, and to have our insurance companies come on board with decreasing the requirements for authorization so that they can have those non-formularies.
Right.
Part of that process.
Right. So for young parents out there who, yes, this is going to get resolved, but maybe not for a little while, what are you and doctors and other nutritionists recommending young parents do?
Well, first of all, if you don't have the need for a specialized formula, if your child can handle a regular formula, there are some great resources. The first one is the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. If you visit the website, it's eatright.org. They have put together a comprehensive list of formulas and of alternative formulas that you can look at that are available. They've also got lists of infant formula safety tips. The CDC, the FDA have more information on their websites. The HHS has a formula finder resource on their website, so you can look for that. You can look for community organizations that have a lot of resources for you in your community. You could also look, talk to your pediatrician, talk to your healthcare providers, talk to the dietitians in your community, see if there are some resources that you haven't tapped into. But certainly something you want to explore and discuss with your physician, with your pediatrician, before you make any adjustments, any swaps, because if you choose the wrong formula, your child may have an intolerance, may have a reaction.